You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. Gordon McKernan in studio with us. How are you, sir? Good to see you, man.
I'm doing great, thanks.
And I know you stay busy. When we get a few minutes with you in studio, It's always good. Life's good?
Life is great. I'm blessed.
That's awesome.
Really am.
Love to hear it. I'm glad we get a few minutes with you, man. New grandfather as well. I saw the pictures.
John Brooks.
Congratulations.
My grandson. I was having him do some workworkouts yesterday. I was like, I had two things. I was doing stretches, and he has this little phone with an app, and his eyes can watch. I said, all right, here's a draw, and I would like he's right-handed, come this way. I said, this is a slice. We don't want that.
Or you're teaching him to play golf.
Yeah.
You're training the mind already.
Yeah, you got to.
Got to get early on it, I guess.
You don't know if he's fast, he can jump, strong, but you can hit a golf ball. You don't have to be the most athletically talented, but it helps to be that, right?
How is being a grandfather different? He's your first grandchild, right?
It's my first grandchild.
How is that different from being a father?
Oh, they're both wonderful, but it is really true when people tell you it's great. They come over and then they leave, and that is good. The older you get, the more rigid you get in your routines, and you want your little house the way you want it. And I feel myself that way now. So they were over last night. It's time for y'all to go. It's good.
Hit 'em,
and it's so it's good in that respect.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations. Happy for you and your family. That's fantastic news. We usually when we get you in here, we talk a lot of NIL and the way things are going. We're about a month away, presumably, I would think, from revenue share that's provided the whole how settlement goes through.
Yep.
Have you? I'm sure you have. How much thought have you given how this may evolve for you with everything you've done in the NIL space?
Yeah, and that's a good question, and I think it's going to be somewhat different, but not completely different. Obviously, those schools that decide to spend up to the 21 million, 20.6 million, whatever it is, are going to be an advantage. Not every school is going to be able to do that, right? And I don't think if the listeners don't understand, it's a matter of the athletic department taking $20 million out of their budget, right? And they have to get it from somewhere, right? The ticket sales or licensing fees or wherever, and they can appropriate that amongst all the various sports in whatever manner they want. They give it all in football, they give it to basketball, they give it to one player. So there's a lot of freedom for the university to do that. Most of them are doing it based upon kind of the structure terms, where football is going to get about 75%, and you have to go on down the line. Well, what that's doing is those sports that maybe are not as big a revenue generating, or don't generate at all, women's basketball, men's baseball, sports like that, they still need their money. And these other schools with deep pockets are reaching into their pockets above the rev share. So are we going to be left behind, or how do we bridge that gap for those other sports? I think football is going to be well taken care of with that amount of money. Right?
You think so? So
I think to a large degree. I mean, now we're going to supplement, I'm sure, whether Bayou Traditions is still around or not, and how it happens. I think there's still going to be supplementation by business owners. I mean, that's what the whole clearinghouse is going to be about. So if we sign a player, it's got to be fair market value. It's got to be approved by whichever accounting firm it's going to be. So there's still going to be some of that. But I think I think a lot of our issues in football will be solved by the rev share.
It's interesting that you talked about supplementing, which I'll get to in a second. But I am interested if the number, that's the number we all hear, right? It's about 75% for football. So 75% of 21 million, 15, 16 million dollars,
somewhere in there,
in that range. You think that's enough for football?
I think it's enough year in, year out, and then you're going to get those one-offs like Bryce Underwood. I mean, some billionaire wants to do that and throw the thing out of whack. What do you do, right? You just got to take your wounds, move on. I do think it's going to be a lot, but I do think there's going to still be some supplement by donors and businessmen to come in and help out.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Because if you're in the rev share, right? Because let's face it, the way that NIL is structured now, it's pay for play under the guise of NIL. Right. Now, you have done it in as legitimate a way as I've seen anybody do it.
Right.
Your athletes are on billboards, they're on TV commercials, they're on radio, they're on everything. You have, to the best you could, utilize those individual brands for your benefit.
Right.
But if all of that has to go through a clearinghouse, how do you supplement that?
Well, it's my understanding the rev share may not be through the clearinghouse per player. Right? That's just part of the whole
Right.
overall settlement, right? But for me, for example, if I decide to sign a receiver next year, and I'm gonna sign him for $100,000 for the season, right? I've got to figure out what deliverables that person is going to do, right? How many times a month he's going to post? Is he going to show up at different events? What does that look like based upon his following, right? How many social media followers they have on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and you should be able to demonstrate, with the data out there that this is a fair market value contract, right? You just should. It's not hard. We've been doing it for 4 years.
Yeah. Do you think that? Do you think some of those valuations will come down for student athletes?
Yeah, I think they will. They have to.
Right?
Now that doesn't mean they're not going to keep asking for outrageous dollars. I mean, outrageous. It is filtered through all the sports, right, and into the women's sports and everywhere, where a transfer through the portal wants $500,000 for the year, right? And you're like,
all right, so you said outrageous. You don't have to use a name, but can you give me an example? I mean, you said $500,000. Like, can you just give me an example of something that happened that you would characterize as outrageous?
Well, so a player at LSU women's basketball player who transferred, didn't average much, right? But was promised several $100,000 for the one season to transfer out. Recent player that we were,
I'm sorry, by the school that she left to? Okay,
yeah.
got it.
And this isn't Flagey, it's an MK. I mean, this is a lower. So when you start thinking about that, what happens? That player gets $300,000 for a season. What is Flagey and MK worth? And then you extrapolate that to baseball or men's basketball, which is even more, or to football, and start seeing where this could go. It can get outrageous.
Gordon McKernan's in studio with us. All the socials at GetGordon, of course, getgordon.com. Do you feel like I think I ask you some variation of this question every time you're here. Do you feel like you've gotten a return on your investment?
Yeah, I have. I mean, in lots of ways. Obviously, I think that the Tiger faithful understand that there were probably better ways for me to spend my money from a marketing standpoint, right? I mean, just a pure business analytic.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I could have gotten more leads, more cases, so to speak, more clients from buying, 1,000 more billboards, right, than spending millions of dollars on athletes, right? But it's not all about money. It's not all about that. It's also about giving back, supporting the university, giving these players an opportunity. So I was happy to try to do that. And I think that resonated with some people, and they understood that, like, he's trying to do something good for the community, for his school or schools, and I think they like that.
Yeah, it's been it's helped maybe with the public perception,
Correct.
Image.
Yeah,
but I think that there's always a you're obviously a really smart marketer. I mean, it goes without saying,
right.
But there's a residual effect of
Yes.
advertising that's immeasurable.
Yeah.
And I look at what you just said and go, I think that isn't immeasurable.
Right.
Return.
Right.
Because, my goodness, how many people that you'll never know that the lead
That's right.
specifically came from
right.
a TV spot, a billboard, whatever it is, that came because of this and the
That's
perception
right.
of you.
Yeah, and there has been attribution for direct business. And oh yeah, you support LSU. I came to you for that reason. So there are direct responses, and you do feel it out there that people in general appreciate it. We've had stories of the other side saying, like, we really want to help you guys and pay you because we know that some of this money might end up back at LSU.
Wait, you mean like people, like clients?
Like, the other side, the adjuster, or the other side it's an LSU adjuster. Good, like, I'm really going to try to get you that money you want because I know that some of that may end up back in, benefiting LSU.
How often does that happen?
Had happened a lot, but it's happened more than you would think.
Before the
no.
No,
It never happened before this. But you can imagine, they're handling thousands of claims, and here's a guy that they know is investing in LSU. Wow, I don't mind paying this guy. He's a good guy. He's going to help LSU.
It is a remarkable world though, how it's all transpired.
Yeah.
Have you tallied up? I mean, I know you have budgets and everything, but like how much you've spent on NIL in this would be 4 years, right? So July 1 will be 4 years.
I guess it went with Kayshawn. I'm trying to think. There was Alexis Morris, but Kayshawn was really the first big one. That was December of
of 21. So July of 21 is when NIL went live.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it, G, but like LSU, a lot of people didn't like me saying it at the time. LSU was late to the game.
Yeah.
I think everyone realizes it now.
Right.
But you were the first who was like, I ain't waiting anymore. Like,
No,
let's go.
that's right.
And you signed Kayshawn.
That's right.
When there was a team to the east of here that was snooping around.
Snooping around.
Yeah.
They were.
So Kayshawn was first.
Kayshawn was first, and it just started from there. But it's in the millions and millions. It's not 1, 2, 3 million. I'd have to look at it. It's probably 5 million, give or take, in there.
Do you think, or do you know, like, are you LSU's biggest NIL benefactor?
No, I wouldn't say that. They've got a couple of well-to-do businessmen. Their names are prevalent out there. You can find them on Forbes.
Sure.
And those guys are very strong, great businessmen, great supporters, and they support the program strongly.
Yeah. Gordon McKernan's in studio with us. Of course, been a great partner of ours here as well, and always generous with his time. Make sure you follow Gordon on all the socials at @GetGordon. Another thing that y'all doing, we've been promoting a lot lately, is the podcast studio, the garage, as you call it. It looks awesome, by the way.
Right.
But how did that come about? Is that literally just a garage at your office?
Yeah, it was a garage at our office over there on Constitution, right by Chris's Steakhouse, and that's where our call center is. And it had a garage that we were just housing different inflatables. You've seen a few of our inflatables around town, right? And other storage stuff.
A few of them might have maybe disappeared here and there.
They have. And then I bought a LSU Jeep. I don't know if you've ever seen the Jeep driving around town, but it was Vic Fisher is a friend of mine, and he was selling it, so I bought that and I was keeping it in there. And then I had the idea, why not create a podcast studio for the greater Baton Rouge area? And it's not for us. I mean, we're using it, but it's for any influencer or any person who has a voice and wants to share whatever they want to talk about with Baton Rouge, with a greater audience, with America. As long as it's not profane or pornographic or anything like that. And you come, you can book a time with us. It's all free. We'll produce it. We'll edit it. We'll do everything for you, and we'll give it to you. And simply, we just ask that you recognize the partnership.
What's there's plenty of people who have studio space that they rent out. I'm just curious, what's the benefit to you to give away your studio space for free?
Giving back, opening it up, letting people have a voice, and
Why? I mean, we do talk about, and this part of obviously of the ads that we do for you is we do talk about a lot of the ways that your firm gives back. The laptop giveaway, the bike giveaway. I've told you before, I MC like the Down Syndrome Awareness Group, Buddy Walk every year. There's always a Gordon tent there. My son plays the Miracle League.
Right.
You sponsor, you do. That's very central. I mean, it is a thing you do, and I think in you coming in here, our audience has probably been exposed to a lot of the genuineness associated there. But why is that something that's so important to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it probably goes back to a faith value. It's just something inherent in what I believe as a Christian, and helping those less fortunate. I mean, it's just been drilled into me, both by my father and being at church and listening to that message over and over again, and understand the gospel and wanting to give back. It's just part of my DNA now.
It's pretty awesome, man. Yeah. That really is. I didn't know that the studio was open, because we're saying that now. You're gonna get flooded now.
That's fine. That's the whole point of it. Yeah. That's
okay. Well, who do people contact if they want to use it?
I hired a guy named Brandon Gallego, who was out at LSU.
Sure.
And has a lot of contacts out there. You can call my law firm, and we'll put you in touch with. That's how you would call to get there now, because it's a separate entity, the Garage Studios, and we're building out that way. But Brandon Gallego, that's a great question. I don't know if we have Brandon@thegarage.com set up yet. I do need to find that out. That's a great question.
If not, it'll be done by the time.
Yeah, so it's coming.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.